Thanks. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, we're good to go. So, thank you so much for being here, and it's such an honor to be at Hopkins to do this session. I know how strong Hopkins is as John Hopkins is as an academic institution, so it's such a privilege to be here and support you on your professional journeys. So I hope you find the session helpful. So let's dive in. So I'm Sam. Please just call me Sam. I'm Dr. Sam Lynch. Basically, I craft personal brands for high achieving women in academia and help support strategy and knowledge exchange within the academic space to connect amazing academics and bright minds with the stakeholders that they want to connect to, whether it's an industry, in their discipline, or on the road to entrepreneurship. In terms of my kind of offer, I do lots of coaching with academics from PGR, so that early career PhD student, right through to reader. And in the UK, we've got professor, which is kind of like your tenure track, the end point there as well. And I also do strategy design there. But I'd like to say welcome to all of you. I know there's some guys here as well, so very much welcome to everyone. The information I will share today is for everyone in the room, so I hope you find it useful as well. If you do want to pick up at the end of the session, find out a little bit more about me and subscribe to my email community where you can meet lots of other academics and people from other professional backgrounds, then hop over to my website. The details are there, or pop over to LinkedIn and say hello. So in terms of the session today, I've not got too many slides for you. I want to make this super productive and enjoyable for everyone in the room. I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey, so how I've come to this point, and really taking you through some of my professional narrative, my background, really to show you how personal brand has been really played a key role in that process. I'm also going to talk a little bit about finding your career fit, what feels right for you, regardless of what stage you're at in your career at this point in time. And then I'll dive into a few kind of key knowledge points for you in terms of taking an intentional approach to your personal brand, kind of my quick start personal brand pillars to really get you moving straight after the session today and get that moving for you, and a few key lessons from my journey, because it has not been perfect. I have not met anyone who has had a perfect career journey. So you can learn from some of my failures, my successes, and hopefully speed up your path to success. So a little bit about my journey. So my background is I'm a marketer. I was a business school undergraduate. I did marketing all the way through to my PhD. I did marketing and consumer behavior for fashion. Specifically in my PhD journey, I was very much focused around consumer behavior. And my academic career started as we do when we're younger, didn't know what quite I wanted to do. I really wanted to dive into marketing because it was a really broad skill set, and went out into industry working in marketing. And then I returned back to academia in my early 30s to do my master's in marketing and consumer behavior, and then jumped into PhD. I then kind of proceeded on the academic track. Not that I was planning to, but I worked my way through really quickly from my PhD right through to head of department within a business school. And I did that within approximately 7 years. So it was a real fast track. I had experience of leadership in my marketing career. So some of that was really familiar to me, and I applied that into my academic context. I've also worked as a business innovation lead. So I work a lot with entrepreneurs to help their businesses grow. That is right from someone starting their business yesterday, trying to find their first client, right through to working with businesses who are receiving government funding to help them get Series A investment. So a real broad skill set. And one of the things that I think's enabled me to do that is really shifting my personal brand and crafting that so people understand why I've made these career moves at different points in my life. And what I would say, you'll see some of the squiggly lines there on the screen, but my career was very much a mixture of things. It was not a linear process. It did not go like a really simple, successful trajectory. There was a lot of self-discovery on the way, and it was really a case of over the years, I've really managed to iterate and understand more about what my values are, what I enjoy about my discipline, and working with people and disseminating knowledge. And that really set me up to build a business which is focused around personal branding. The key thing I would say in terms of my business journey, and then we'll step out of my story and give you some tools to help you on your journey, was that my business started when I was an academic. Um, I was a program leader for a program at my university. I was leading other colleagues, and I stepped into a head of department role, and I was leading other colleagues on their staff development. And that was a point in my career. I really enjoyed that process of watching other people grow. I had the same experience in industry. And it was at that point I had colleagues refer me to their friends and other peers across other institutions. And I started iterating and coaching, particularly women, because I am a mom, I am a female, I identify as female, I have a young family, and all of those things really resonated with some of the clients that I worked with. And it ended up that I started coaching as a formal business during that phase of my career. And luckily, it went really well and has continued to grow. That I've had referrals into other sectors and specialisms. So I work with professional women, anything from doctors and medical professionals through to academics to female entrepreneurs, those that are earlier in their career and just finding their feet and understanding what's next after my PhD, and also supporting institutions and corporate bodies and networks to help women thrive in their career as well along the way. And I've had such wonderful support through my journey, both from some amazing men and women who have mentored and supported me. And that really gave me a sense that I want to give back some of the support that I have had and see that help other women thrive and enable other people to really unlock their potential through education as well. And I really believe in the power of education. I am a first generation academic. I do not come from that world, nor does my family. And I really find that the power of education really unlocked my opportunities, my potential, and made me think a little bit bigger or a lot bigger about my career as well. So today, I really want to say to you, my journey has not been perfect. I don't know anyone who has had a perfect journey. It's all about finding your fit. And I really want you to think about your career, your ambitions, what you want more holistically from your life is that you can design it on your terms. We are in a new phase of work, the working world, so to speak, and we have a few more opportunities and enablements available to us now that maybe at previous generations did not. It's not a perfect situation either, but I think there is an opportunity for individuals such as everyone in the room to craft and design a career on your terms. And really what I would say there is there's a few prompt questions, but really thinking about what is holding you back in your career. Is it imposter syndrome? Is it your mindset? Is it perfectionism? Working with academics, we love being perfectionists at our research and our work with students and in our labs. But what do you want out of your career? And when have you created a point where you have space to reflect on that on a regular basis? So think about what is your mission? My mission is all about disseminating knowledge to unlock potential in others. So through personal branding, that is a key vehicle. I also still work in academia and also support businesses, but it's really about understanding what is driving you. If you're on the PhD track or have completed your PhD, You are the 1.4% of the world who has crafted their career to this point to be on that journey. So make the most of it to empower others, but empower your ambitions too. And what I would say to you is really when you're thinking about designing your career, do you want a multi-interest career, something where you can bring together different threads of interest or different disciplines? Do you want to zero in on one particular area? And what kind of ideal work life do you have in mind? What do you want in the longer term? How do you want to spend your time? If you have that vision in your mind, that ideal scenario, you can make better decisions towards that through your career as well. So, where does the personal branding fit into this? And what is personal branding? I get asked this all the time. And basically, personal branding, it comes from marketing theory. It's just like we choose different things in the supermarket because of brands. We have favorites, we have others we like because of the packaging or the values or the ingredients, whatever it might be. It's the same with people. It's the same thing. It's really trying to encapsulate, distill your unique constellation of skills, values, your experience, and your journey. I would say your journey is really important because through my own professional kind of path, I didn't come, as I said, from a academic background, and that really matters to me. That really resonates with my students, the people I work with, because I understand some of the pressures and struggles when you are juggling other things in your life to make this academic ambition happen as well. But it's packaging and taking all these different elements together and the efforts that you've put in and your why to really distill that and create a personal brand bio, a short statement of who you are and what you do that anyone can understand, that anyone you can say can understand, that you meet can understand. But it's all about perception. It's also about you managing your personal brand as well, because obviously you might have these amazing ideas, these amazing activities that you are delivering on, but are you communicating that? Are you sharing that with the people that need to know so they can unlock opportunities for you, but also that you can further and advance whatever endeavor that you're trying to do as well? So, the key thing that I would say is we all have a personal brand, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, your staff profile, your student profile, the perception of your work, your scores, whatever it might be. So I'm saying to you, it's a choice of whether or not you want to manage it. But if you do take an intentional approach, if you do take the time to manage that, then you are kind of taking charge of your narrative, you are taking charge of your ambitions, but you're also working smarter because you're speeding up your path to success and the goals that you want because you're actively managing, whether it's your LinkedIn profile, your research scholar, or your academia.edu, whatever it is, you're actively and intentionally crafting those elements because that's going to connect you with the rest of the world and what you do. It's all about looking upwards and outwards. So there are three essential kind of quick start pillars. I want to give you something that you can take away today to give you some prompts based on the slides, and we will share all of this with you, but really to get you thinking and get you moving. So the first step of that is really thinking about crafting your personal brand. So my task to everyone in the room, and you might have already done some of this as well, is really thinking, what are the key threads of my career, my interests, my research, my activity, and encapsulating that in one or two sentences so that, as I said before, you can tell anyone from a professor right through to your cousin, your nephew, your auntie, that everyone understands who you are and what you do, and that you make your professional profile approachable to the rest of the world. So it's taking that time, those two key lines that you can put across all of your different channels. And that leads me really well onto communicating your personal brand. You need to actively manage the profile. So I went on today to meet some of you and connect with some of you on the app that we're using for this event. You've got LinkedIn profiles. It's about actively managing those. Are you communicating who you are and what you do on them? Are you making the most of your bio and making sure people can connect into your university page or your professional page, whatever it might be? So help people find out and learn about you in the way you want them to understand what you do. And then the final kind of quick start pillar that we would say is about making consistent decisions towards your goals, towards your ambitions, and really doing that based on that personal brand anchor you created back on this first step. So everything you do, either in a large part or even in a really tiny, tiny part, should connect to your personal brand. Your personal brand is the anchor for all of your career and business decision making as well, that there's a common link and thread so that you've got a clear why as to what you're saying yes to, but also that you can say no to things more confidently as well when the situation arises. And you'll find through your career as you progress, and for those of you in the room who are already at that more senior stage, I would really say it helps you really see and gain focus and clarity on what projects and endeavors you're committing to, while also focusing on those that you can maybe move in a different direction as well. It's all about bringing clarity and vision to what you do, just like a company would do in terms of their values and mission as well. So to kind of round up some of the points that we're saying here, and these are some of my key learns from having many successes, but also many failures along the way. So what I would say to anyone in the room, and I say this to my clients so regularly, your career doesn't happen on a Friday afternoon. Once you've delivered all the other tasks around your endeavors that you need to, it shouldn't be the last thing on your plate to do. I always say to my clients to switch things up, and to the universities where I go out and do talks across the UK, Europe, and the Middle East, is move that career strategy to the first thing that happens on your Monday morning. Take that time to reflect, understand what your goals are, so you can really execute that week, month, or quarter, or year well, and that it feels good, that you really come away feeling content by the end of the week in terms of what you have done. Because as we know in this space, there's always other things to do, there's always other work to do. So it's about choosing the right things. The other point that I would suggest is start your personal brand before you're ready and before you need it. So even if you're really early on in your journey, start crafting your personal brand, making those connections externally and more widely with your discipline, peers, companies that you're interested in, or whatever it might be, so that you've built up that profile. So when you need it, you've already got some connections in place. So you don't need to spend time putting those extra efforts in at a really fast pace. Do it gradually, do it regularly, make it part of your everyday. The other thing about personal brand is evolve it as you go. So you might start out in one space like I did, and I just kept iterating and evolving that personal brand until I just found the right fit for that point in my career. I have progressed in my career. I now have a young family and different needs from that point of view. So I've really made my personal brand fit around where I'm at in my life and my professional career. And the other 2 points I would say is leverage what you're already doing. If you're working on research papers, if there's things you've already delivered, make sure you re-communicate that, repurpose it, reuse it, and share it with the world so everyone can connect on the work and the story of your journey so far. And ultimately, the key point that kind of connects with that, the one before, is communicate what you're doing, communicate the impact you're having, doing the work, putting in the hours. We know you're here and we know you're capable of doing that. The next part that's going to take your career from good to great is about communicating that impact. That is the key marker for a successful career, looking upwards and outwards and making sure you are leveraging what you are doing. So that is a very short, very fast paced, and very quick view of personal branding. I hope it's given you some takeaways. But what I would say is head over to the website. We have tons of resources if you're in the academic space. If you subscribe to us, we can put you on. We've got a short free course that you can join. There's a blog post. We use lots of tools if you're trying to craft your research pipeline, if you're trying to work smarter because you've got a family or other things going on outside of your academic or professional endeavors. we've got lots of tools for working women to help you work smarter and also to have a really successful and thriving career, whether it's in academia. If you choose to take your knowledge into entrepreneurship, we are here to support you on that journey. So join us. We also have a number of webinars that you can sign up, come and join me for free, meet our community, understand who we've worked with. We work with universities all across the world, and we help them make them upward and outward looking for faculty and staff. So on that note, I will head back to Jane because I'm conscious I don't want to take up any more minutes. I think I'm 1 minute over, so apologies, Jane. Yeah, I'm really open to hear your questions and make sure we can help you on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam. No worries about going over time. Thank you so much for all your advice and being very honest about your experiences. We have one question in the chat here. This
Sure.
person asked, what advice would you give to someone that feels like they've lost their passion? Academia seemed to be it, but after years of frustration, now it feels like I have no more mission. It's hard to direct the energy to rebrand yourself when the goal is not clear.
Yeah, this is a common question I have with clients. It is a very common feeling, and that's shared in different geographies as well. So please don't feel alone in that process. What I would say is the first point is really creating, we say to our clients, we bring everything back down to zero, which is really getting in a calm, emotional headspace. So you can think clearly about what you want to do and creating space to reflect on what it is that's driving you, or what is it that you want for this next chapter of your career, whether it's in academia or beyond that as well. So what we'd say is really think about what was your original mission for going into academia? What was driving you at that point? What do you want out of your career now and in the future? Not in terms of a job title or profession or business, but just in terms of what do you want life to look like? Where do you imagine working? How do you imagine working day to day? What sort of environment? And you'll gradually gain clarity and understanding what might feel the right fit in terms of a work life. And then you can find a profession, career, business, or multiple endeavors that really give you that kind of good fit essentially for what you want. So don't come too stressed about it. I would really say is create some space to reflect on it, understand your why, and understand what you want in terms of how you want to live going forward, and build your career around the life that you want rather than building your life around your career.
Thank you so much for that. We do have one last question on the Hoover portal. And this person asks, how do you ensure that the message you're trying to convey through storytelling is strong and that it actually connects with people?
So the key thing to understand, or the key thing I would say, is really understand who's in the room, because not everyone comes from the same perspective. As we know, we lots of different people in the room with different contexts, different understanding. So really understand who's in the room, what might be important to them. But in terms of making that kind of storytelling and building and crafting that picture, is be honest about that journey. I think that makes us, we are human, we are not perfect as much as we wish to be, particularly in these kind of contexts, and being really open and honest about that where it feels right to kind of open up a little bit more. Talk about the things that have not worked well. Talk about what's been driving you and what you've learned through those processes. And that really connects with people on a personal level. That's really about joining up, how you've come to the point you have, where you're headed, whether you're a business on the investment track, you're seeking tenure in academia, or you're trying to build something else or work in a corporate space. People want to understand what's driving you, so then they can understand either how they can help you or engage with you, or where you both connect together. That's key. The other thing is really about communicating and really practicing that communication. So whether it's a personal brand and you're starting to share your journey, if it's not been a straightforward path into academia, it certainly wasn't for me. It required a lot of extra hard work behind the scenes to make that happen. So really about opening up about some of those things. I've found it's really resonated with my students because they've also had to work with jobs alongside juggling their academic ambitions as well. And that really connects. It gives them the motivation and engagement to connect. And I think that really, really helps. It's not about presenting this perfect picture. It's about really capturing the essence and distilling the essence of what you have done and where you're headed. People want to know where you're going, and they want to understand what made you kind of get to this point. And you'll see that people really connect and resonate with that, whether it's in academia or not. Be open to sharing that and share it at a level that feels comfortable for you. You do not need to be over all social media, anything like that at all. Find your right fit in terms of that communication line.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And with that, we are out of time. We're at the end of our talk. So everyone, please join me in thanking Dr. Sam Lynch for her amazing advice and time today.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been really lovely to have you all here. As I said, if this resonates, you want to connect further with any of it, please reach out. You can connect with us on drsamlynch.co.uk. We are here to see women and men who are here also thrive in your careers. We do lots of talks across universities globally. So come and talk to us, let us know, share it with your faculties and your colleagues, and we'll help you. We are here to back you and see you thrive. So have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye.